Well, fellas, we're rushing through the Advent season here. Week 2.
I gave up sugar, just so you know.
Good.
Really?
And Advent is about patiently waiting for the King, the one true King.
Right.
Obviously, we're not talking about Elvis.
Not yet.
No, at least not yet. But there is an Elvis nexus to this episode, especially this time of year. And I was doing a little show prep, and I was looking up some things about Elvis. Like Elvis, there's some pretty obvious things that we all know about Elvis. Like all three of us have something in common with Elvis. Like Scott is the king, which you all know. Where Chris has some comparisons to Elvis. I mean, for me,
I have the big necklaces and the diamond rings
and the karate.
The karate, the black.
Oh yeah.
Karate.
I also have a gold jacket. I just wear that on special occasions.
And he was also a natural blonde, Chris, like you. And he dyes hair black, which was true. But Elvis served in the army, like I did in Germany, which was nice. He was based near where I served, which was kind of cool. But one of the things that people don't realize about Elvis is that he had a twin brother. Did you know?
Aaron. Yep.
Yeah, stillborn brother. He talked about it quite a bit. He never got over that.
I don't think I knew that.
And he never wrote a single song.
Nope.
He did not write or compose any of them, which is wild. This is as big as he was the king of rock and roll. And his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, little known fact, is he was an illegal alien.
Really?
Taking advantage of young people, like the illegal aliens currently are, taking advantage of young people. At least the ones we're rounding up. But he was an illegal alien. That's why Elvis never appeared outside of North America. Because this guy was a Dutch. The colonel was not a colonel at all, obviously. He was a total sham. He named himself a colonel. But he was a Dutch guy. He was from Holland. It's
the wood shoes.
Yeah, and he never left North America to perform because he was afraid he wouldn't be able to get back in.
He wouldn't be able to get. He would be able to get back or out, one of the two, right?
Right. Yeah. He did some in Canada in 1957, but the Canadians always had a very porous border.
Yeah, what did they know?
You went there because you were trying to escape. All of the Republican presidents caused a mass migration into Canada, and then obviously they all come back, or they don't say. But Colonel Parker, that's like Chris. Chris is our Colonel Parker, Scott.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're the king. You're like the most Elvis out of all of us. Obviously, the draw of the people.
Thank you very much.
Chris is Colonel Parker, and
right.
And I'm the stillborn brother.
Oh God,
that's where I'm at. That's just,
look, we're all together. We gotta be buried in my backyard.
You write
the
songs.
But I write. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm part of the band. Part of the.
You're the guy that says Elvis has left the building.
Elvis has left
because you are the AV president.
Yeah, right. There you go. But it was pretty wild when I was looking that up. These are some of the things I didn't really know about Elvis. Look, to me, Elvis was always pretty shabby. I'm sorry. I never saw him as the king of rock and roll.
No.
I love the older Elvis, the fat, sweaty Elvis from Hawaii.
Jumpsuit.
Yeah, like I say to people all the time when they're nervous, like, you're sweating like Elvis in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like that concert, and
right.
He just, he touches people in a way, not inappropriately, I should say.
Right.
He touches people in a way that, like, people either love Elvis or are kind of like indifferent to Elvis. Like, when we talk to people about Elvis, they're like, what? Elvis? Or, I love Elvis, I can't live without him. Like, his concerts and things like that were huge back in the day.
Well, it's kind of fading nowadays too, because it's getting to be that age bracket's starting to kind of cycle out a little bit.
Do you know who those?
Just like Pearl Harbor. They said about Pearl Harbor, they said there's no really surviving members that can come there and commemorate, the sinking of the Arizona. And, Elvis is going to be the same way. The same kind of thing.
They should,
they should do an
AI Elvis on the platform at Pearl Harbor to try to keep the try to keep them together. Like Elvis plays Pearl Harbor. And
I'll tell you what.
Those two groups.
Well, it was Hawaii. He loved going to Hawaii.
Right.
So
yeah.
There you go.
Kara would have been good for the show because she is a Elvis fan and Pearl Harbor. I bet Pearl Harbor would probably be one of the only things that I think somebody like Kara would give Sean a run for his money for in trivia.
Holy shit!
Yeah. She went to Elvis's apartment. She went a whole little tour. Stayed at the Heartbreak Hotel.
Now, there's another Elvis fact that I didn't know, that Kara is a huge Elvis fan.
Elvis.
So
right.
Yeah.
It's another fact.
Yeah. Well.
Wow. So has she been to Graceland yet?
Oh God, a couple times, yeah.
Graceland's the second most visited mansion in the United States.
Yeah.
second most visited residence in the United States.
And speaking of
next to
speaking of Nicolas Cage, you have to put that up. Did you know that he was the only one that was in Elvis's bedroom after his death because he was dating the daughter?
Lisa Marie?
Yep, he was dating Lisa Marie. He's one of the only civilians that has ever been in Elvis's bedroom because that's why you can't go through.
Nut too. He loves Elvis. Like, remember the SNL skit of Tiny Elvis? He would do
Tiny Elvis, Little E.
Tiny Elvis sleep, Little E. And those fools that were his like Memphis Mafia, that would like laugh at every joke that Elvis ever said. It was like the dumbest shit, and Elvis would say it. The other thing is why Scott's Elvis is Elvis had some really strange eating habits. Like he, Elvis obviously Scott is not like this, but Elvis became a hog at the end of his life. I mean, you saw him like
that's where I'm tracking.
Yeah, but he was like a big fan of like peanut butter, bacon, and banana sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
that was his thing, right? And imagine this: supposedly Elvis died on the shitter.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Have you ever tried to pass a peanut butter banana? Anything?
Well, he wasn't taking enough fiber gummies, probably.
Right. And he did, and you know what?
He was taking gummies, just not the fiber ones.
And he didn't have a phone by the black porcelain shitter, so he couldn't even call anybody when they found him.
Right, no 911.
Do you guys remember when Elvis died?
Yeah.
Elvis. It was the same summer that Star Wars came out. Elvis died during that summer in '77. It was awful. It was the day that
I was only 3.
Things are changing. Changing. But your parents spared you that at 3?
Surprisingly, anyway. Yes, because they would have. Right. There was probably some memorial going on or something at our house because my parents were Elvis fans. So
my dad comes out in his jumpsuit. What are you doing?
Right. But Elvis, and the other thing about Elvis met with Nixon. Like Nixon, brought him in to help. Like,
didn't Nixon make him an honorary DEA agent?
Yeah, and Elvis again to that point used to collect police badges.
Yeah,
and he would just randomly stop people as Elvis and talk to them about safety issues. Could you imagine?
With a free karate lesson.
Yeah, and he's doing that at the side of the car with that 50-pound jumpsuit
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
And everybody would believe he was a cop because he was so fat, too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Bow to your sensei.
Right. And let me talk to you a little bit about seatbelt safety here. The guy, anyway,
right.
It's
as he's lacing his peanut butter and banana sandwich with amphetamines.
Excuse me, are you headed to the Heartbreak Hotel? It's 2 miles down to the right.
Good driver's a relaxed driver.
Yeah. I gotta go. Colonel Tom's calling. Anyway, but Scott found us a great story about somebody that's really been, both positively and negatively impacted by Elvis in his life. And
right.
You would normally think that this would be somebody like, I don't know, like people that are into Elvis, like right now, they're like those Disney folks. Like, well, how do you
the adult Disney people?
Yeah, right. No children because I get to go to Disney like 70 times a year. People, but
to see Buzz Lightyear.
This guy, Scott's going to give us a little details on this. It'll probably be a little shocking to you. At least it should be.
Well, right. And, like I said, we love to joke about people in our own profession and whatnot. And, people that watch cop shows and court shows and TV, they think, the courtroom is where someone, these defense attorneys and prosecutors stand up there and shout at people and berate them. And it's this big, serious thing when in reality, you see a lot of the shenanigans that goes on in courtrooms, and it's really just a lot of turn and burn people in and out kind of thing, and shabby looking attorneys and whatever else. But in this particular article that I found, this is a Missouri judge by the name of Matthew Thornhill, which sounds like he could be like the Judge Schmales from Caddyshack or something. Judge Matthew Thornhill. This guy in Missouri basically did like Elvis impersonations when he ran his courtroom.
Yeah.
And wearing wigs and playing Elvis music.
Right.
And just like kind of turning the courtroom into like a terrible Elvis, like it's like a Branson show or something, in Missouri.
Right.
And so, people were complaining about it, but he said that he'd regularly wear the wig around Halloween, but also would just come into the courtroom playing Elvis's music. He'd offer to have, people and defendants be sworn in while he played music, Elvis music, make random references to Elvis during court proceedings, and all just kind of like oddball kind of shit, where obviously they were starting to get complaints, and he got smacked down for that and ultimately agreed to resign. But just some of the pictures are hysterical.
Yeah. They are funny, and that is one serious pompadour he's got going. Right. I mean, that wasn't even like Elvis wasn't even that big, But I'll tell you, it's but here's the thing, like, okay, I'm all we're all for laughs, and we all have a good time,
obviously,
obviously, right? But I mean, like, this is a court of law. Like, could you imagine if one of us walked in, like dressed as the freaking Tin Man or the Scarecrow or, Elvis, here I'm Bon Jovi. Like what? They killed, but they let this go on for months.
Oh yeah.
Like, and how do you, like, could you imagine sitting in the box answering questions, looking at this guy with this pompadour? I mean, like how could you even, like, how could you put anything on seriously in your judicial system? Because not only is the judicial system a joke now you're just carrying it into the courtroom as a cartoon.
Yeah, well, this guy's been at it for
18 years. 18
he's
years.
Been at it for a while. Like I said, he is originally from St. Charles, Missouri, where he was a St. Charles County prosecutor, assistant prosecutor, and then eventually an associate judge. 93 is when he, started his, prosecutorial career. And I'm sure he was like we always say, people didn't see this prior to this. People were just kind of okay with it, not a problem, didn't really disrupt anything. A lot of cases, you go in there as a prosecutor, the judge is still in charge, probably wouldn't be able to allow you to get away with that. Then you become a judge, and that's your courtroom. It's just like we say on a traffic stop as cops. This is our traffic stop. We're going to conduct it the way we need to. You got to listen to us, comply and complain, kind of a thing. But in we've seen what's happened with that since, that time. It's kind of gotten out of control. But a courtroom is, like we said, something completely different. Like, as a cop, you get a little aggravated with it. Like, you see somebody get spicy with a judge in a courtroom, and there's immediate repercussions for that. Like, you are going to get dragged out of there and put in jail, and you're contempt. You keep running your mouth like you do to a cop. You get, there's 30 days, there's 30 more days, there's 30 more days on top. You want to keep going, and they're not messing around. It's just like bailiff grabs you, and you go right back to the cell that you came from, and you're going to set up some permanent residence there for a little while. It's going to be your domicile. But, in a courtroom, things are pretty serious. I mean, he is a guy that, was a Catholic educated individual, Catholic school system. He did his, law school.
Take it easy on us Catholics.
Of Notre Dame, which I just found out.
Oh, did he?
Up on this guy. He was a Notre Dame law school grad. Notre Dame is not an easy law school to get into.
No.
It's almost as hard to get into the playoffs if you're Notre Dame. But the bottom line is that's where the guy's situation was. And like, he even mentions it in his biography in the District 4, which is the district that he's in as a judge, that he loves Elvis. He loves Elvis and some other things, but Elvis was the first thing. I was glad to see that he said that he loved his wife and kids more than he loved Elvis, but the bottom line was Elvis was right there.
Stand up.
Well, it did say the order of things that it said he loves was Elvis, surfing, gardening, watching soccer, golfing with his children, and running with his dog on the Katy Trail.
That's true. He's also a beekeeper.
I love long walks on the beach, kisses in the rain. Seriously, come on.
But no, it's seriously, that's in his biography. So it's not like people didn't know that this potentiality was there. It's just like, he likes Asian porn. I mean, like, people are shocked. I mean, those kind of things. Like, that's not in his bio, obviously. But these would be things like, well, how did he not know this was going to go down? But when you look at it, it's kind of like,
that's bad.
Well, if you're a judge, I think it's bad.
Well, not only if you're watching on the bench.
On the bench, which maybe happens.
Wearing a kimono.
But it was funny to see, like, oh my God, this is a guy that they actually took to task on this. He ran as a Republican. I'm going to give you that. So in all fairness, we're telling people, what the deal is with that. But he obviously, it got so out of control that people complained. If I'm guessing, it's probably, I don't think it was somebody that didn't like Elvis as much as they didn't like a ruling that he probably brought down.
Right.
And then they brought up some complaints.
Well, I mean, just imagine you're hearing something about like a murder or a ticket or whatever, and I'm trying to tell this guy my side of the story, and he's with the 6-foot pompadour playing, Heartbreak Hotel or Jailhouse Rock would be very, very funny in the background, and you're trying to tell him your story, and like this guy's looking at you, and he is totally serious, dressed like Elvis, and like how do you? Obviously, all right, I'll just pay the ticket. Fuck it.
And the thing that's maybe they just look at him like I'm a lunatic. I'm not going to try to fight anything with this. This guy's a lunatic, But like, I mean, I guess like to what Sean was saying about going to court and things. As the police, you're expected to come to court looking professional,
right?
Whether it's in a uniform, probably hopefully not one that you slept in, but at least in a uniform, looking presentable, or shirt and tie, business casual, something along those lines, whatever your department's rules might be. But and then everyone would always laugh at the people that you'd see coming to court that are there for their 30th driving while license suspended ticket, and they're in SpongeBob pajama pants and a shirt with a ketchup stain on it and slippers. And you see those videos all the time of judges where they're doing like the Zoom calls, like our the poor officer in Detroit, where it's like
no pants.
Hey, you know that you are coming to court today, right? Like this is what you chose to wear. Right. And even a good defense attorney will tell you that they will tell their clients, hey, don't show up to court looking like a schmuck. Okay. Go to fucking JCPenney or Goodwill and get some cheap ass suit. And we always see those people because they're a foot too long and the sleeves are too long, but at least they took the time to get a suit and come to court and look presentable because they knew there's going to be some, a judgment being handed down on them. So it's like, how is that even a thing where people, was it just like, oh, this is funny because it's some small town thing or some small court and this is just what he does. But I honestly, if I was a police officer there, I would take offense to it as an officer, because it's like, listen, you have the two sides of whatever this thing is that we're here for, right? Whether it's a traffic ticket, whether it's a criminal trial,
civil, whatever,
right? There, I'm expected to look professional. The other party involved is expected to look professional, and everyone gives the respect to the judge. I mean, you know how it is. You walk into court. Well, everybody's got to stand up when the man in the room comes out. We have to pay homage and, all these things that we do to that judge who's sitting on high, making some of these decisions, especially, if it's a bench trial, they're making the decision. And I can understand, like, maybe you're just kind of an oddball guy and you interject some things, when you're handing down a ruling, and maybe you make some fucking stupid Elvis comment or something. But like, to come out looking like this asshole, like in this costume and playing music like this, the courtroom's not a joke. You know what I mean? You're making a joke of it. And in all honesty, it's not fair, I don't think, even to the offenders that are on the other side either. You know what I mean? Like, they're in a bad way. They're coming to court for something, again, whether it's just a traffic ticket or it's something criminal, or maybe they're looking at some jail time, and you're sitting there thinking, holy shit, who is this goofball up here in a
that's going to sentence me?
Satin jumpsuit and blue suede shoes, talking fucking nonsense.
That's another song. Good job. Good job.
Taking counsel from an illegal alien.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's just so outrageous. And I'm telling you, like, I encourage people to look up this story and look at the pictures, because I mean, we're not doing it justice with some of the stupid shit that this guy did. Like, he's standing with cardboard cutouts of Elvis. I mean, it's just it's so crazy. And I've never heard, I don't think any of us have ever heard of anything. Now, we have, certainly when we all started, there was a judge who was an old school guy at the traffic court who was kind of, like a salty old crusty judge who, he made it very clear that he wanted that courtroom cleared out and done so he could be on the golf course at noon. Right. And like, he would say some things where you'd kind of look around like, holy shit, what did he just say? And
can we still draw and quarter people?
Right.
For traffic violence?
Right. And it's like, okay, hey, it's his courtroom. He's been around long enough. He's got the stones to say that shit, and this is how it's going to run. But this goes way too far. It's just, I mean, it's crazy.
Well, but I mean, you just had judges. I mean, that when I first started at police work, I was always made sure that I was dressed properly because I wanted to make a good presentation in front of the judge. And you always have those butterflies in your stomach, like because he's the judge, and you don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or at least act, you don't want to act inappropriate, so the first thing you do is you present yourself appropriately, and now I just think it's just like you said, people come in SpongeBob pajama pants and it's a farce because then, he's dressed up like Elvis. I'm just going to come in my reindeer pants. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to find out what room he's in and try to get everything transferred to that, like 4
right.
or 2 or wherever he was at in the building. But in his defense, some of the things that he had said, we'll give you some backfill on that. He's like, he wanted to do this stuff. And he said in a letter that he provided after his disciplinary hearing to kind of, maybe sway the disciplinary council for this. He did this to add levity at times when I thought it would help relax litigants. He also said, I now recognize that this could affect the integrity and solemnity of the proceedings.
Good word.
In the letter that he wrote in November 12th to the Missouri Supreme Court. They said on or about October 31st, which is obviously Halloween, he was wearing these things. So this was, maybe the breaking point where people were just tired of it.
You've gone full Elvis.
Yeah. And could you imagine what things that maybe happened or he set him up for? Like the Chief Justice there was named Colonel Parker. That was the guy's name. Judge Parker. And,
right. Maybe they were in the ghetto.
Right. And he made the clerk, the paperwork got all messed up because whenever he had a ruling that the clerk had to jump up and dance like Anne Margaret, throwing papers around in her hair, flopping all over the place, and then they would sit down and get back to it. And it was, obviously that's a joke. But
right.
You look at this and you think to yourself, you just don't one day come out and wear an Elvis wig in court. These things are all happening and people are just like, oh, it's a weird courtroom, whatever. And then, he's the guy's obsessed with him. He's admitted it. He says it. He doesn't hide from it. He the commission that eventually, said you're going to get a suspension. And then eventually just said, well, now you're out, you're not going to be a judge anymore.
Yeah. Now or never.
He did not dispute any of the allegations. And as anybody with a law degree would say, they were substantially accurate, which is kind of funny, I think,
but I just thought, but it's also kind of funny too, though, Sean, that they didn't even give him a chance to go say, okay, I'll never do it again.
Right.
It was just done.
Right. He also got into the other thing they say is that he also got into some political affiliation things. He would share preferred candidates in elections from the bench. He would talk about that, which is completely unheard of. If you go into a courtroom and you got a judge that's going, I'm a Republican or a Democrat or whatever, they have to run obviously under these things, but then they're promoting things in there that obviously lady justices.
Yeah, I was gonna say that whole blind lady justice thing. The scale's a little
This courtroom
unbalanced
isn't
there.
your basement karaoke party at your 50th birthday.
Right, exactly.
You stand up there and he's doing Elvis karate and kicking over the stenographer table and stuff.
Your fine is $50 and sing All Shook Up.
Right. It's obviously, from a standpoint, in the criminal justice process, this is completely unheard of. That's why it's such a prevalent story for a lot of people. Elvis is probably, proud of him from the great beyond wherever Elvis is at right now. You know what I mean? But
still alive.
It's pretty wild. We thought it would be pretty funny to kind of cover this one, As a cop, you would I'll be honest with you, a cop, you'd like to get a couple cases in his courtroom, though, wouldn't you? To kind of that's a myth, man. That's bullshit.
Right.
So you can come out of there, have some street cred with your guys and going, oh, no, this is legit. No. Could you imagine the prosecutors that are in there, the first and second chairs? They're like, oh, my God.
Yeah. I would want, somebody.
They're all wearing matching outfits like backup singers.
Yeah. And all rise. The judge has left the building. You know what I mean? Could you imagine that's the bailiff saying that shit? And you're like, come on, are you serious?
He's got that deep voice, one of the backup singers.
Right.
Oh my God.
And you're sitting up there testifying on a gold toilet that they have on there. And you're like, man, this ain't the most comfortable thing to sit on.
Right.
I'd be like,
how did you get in the pink Cadillac?
And I mean, you'd be like, hey, somebody's got to at least get one picture of me up here testifying. I want one picture for my retirement party of me testifying with Elvis Judge.
That's your cake.
He's just up there doing the hands while you're testifying.
Anyway, this wrote itself.
It did. It's so great.
Oh my God.
Any joking we could be doing is all.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you,
Judge. This is good.
Thank you for your service, Your Honor.
Thank you for your service. We should find a way to get him on. We should try to find him and see if he can come on and talk about it.
Right. Well, what does he do now?
Time on his hand right now.
Right.
Now, if he becomes out to be an Elvis impersonator and I see him on a website, I am going to the show.
Oh, for
sure. I'll pay for all you guys to go.
Yeah, we're going.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And if he comes on as a guest, there's no talking about surfing or running on the Katy Trail. We're only talking about Elvis.
His love of Elvis.
Well, I've gotten really into surfing since I left.
No.
Put the wig and the yellow glasses on.
Anyway.
Hop on to Lisa Marie, go to Colorado and get yourself some peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
He's doing a lot of surfing in Missouri anyway.
Oh my God, that's classic. Well, I mean, hey, it's just part of what's going on. I mean, you saw we talked about the peacekeepers before. Those guys are getting, locked up left and right. It's costing the city of Chicago $65 million. And then you're going to court and you're let out 72 times. So why not just let him wear Elvis? Oh, listen, you're going to get out 72 times, but but Elvis is going to be, who's your judge, Elvis? Who's your judge, Ozzy Osbourne? Who's your judge? I mean, just go ahead, because they're not doing anything.
We're shocked by the fact that a guy's dressing up as Elvis, but what we're not shocked by the fact that judges are letting people out that set people on fire. You know what I mean?
And if there's a trial, if there's a trial, I want it to be Mini Kiss to be in the jury box. Mini Kiss, not regular Kiss, Mini Kiss.
Okay, my walk-up song to the my walk-up song is Detroit Rock City as I walk up to the booth this morning. I want you to play Detroit Rock City.
Call you Dr. Love.
You see, this is where the decorum is completely removed here. We can't even get this back on the rail. The podcast back on there. Could you imagine what it would be like in a courtroom? It's insane.
So here, I'll tell you. I'll turn it around real quick. So with the holiday season. And things that we're talking about, and Advent, and all the magical things that happen during the holidays. I had told you guys about this before our last episode, but I didn't want to give it away because I was going to, a work Christmas party event, and they were doing a white elephant. The gift exchange thing where you get to open something, and then if somebody can steal it from you once and all that kind of stuff. So, last year it was my first year with the agency, and so you kind of just playing it safe, like I'm just going to get like a bottle of booze or something because that's
right.
With some Harry and David,
right? Right, yeah. Like how stale are these pears?
Right, and I have a peanut allergy.
I'm only stealing the raspberry preserves. I don't want the kiwi. No, you can't break up the basket. So this year I was like, well, I've gotten to know people a little bit more, and my personality leans towards being not always too serious all the time. So I'm like, I gotta really bring something strong to this one this year, So being the Facebook marketplace master that I've become of buying and selling the underground trade of and things on Facebook marketplace, I'm looking around, and again, no explanation for my algorithms or any of the reasoning. I mean, I just the bizarre things that pop up, but this had to be one of my all-time favorites, and it was a Richard Simmons chia pet.
Oh my God. Wow.
So, you start seeing ads, you're seeing ads all the time for chia pets now because it's getting into Christmas time, the holidays and stuff. And this was apparently like a collector's item at some point. So, I snagged a deal. This thing brand new in the box. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have to get this. So I drove like a half an hour from home to the south suburbs to go pick this thing up.
Was it at somebody's house?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had to go to their house to pick it up.
And what was it, like a normal dude or whatever?
Well, was it? His porch pickup.
He actually comes out looking like Richard Simmons.
Right.
Yay!
Thank you. He's in the tank top and the shorts, and he's just and he's offering me food, but it's deal a meal, so I have to figure out. I don't know the calories because it's
what you got to step while you're there. Keep stepping. Keep stepping.
Right. So I pick this thing up and I bring it back, and I know I had told you guys about this, but so even when I brought it back and of course, you know how a lot of conversations go in my house. They go like
But,
this.
but let me back up. You were probably laughing the whole 30-minute trip home to yourself.
The whole time. I'm looking at it on the seat like it's Wilson from
from Castaway.
Castaway.
Yeah. Wilson. And Richard Simmons just smiling at me. And so I get home and I come in, I set this thing down on the island, and I'm just laughing. You know, I'm like, it's like Beavis and Butthead. You know?
You're proud of yourself. Yeah.
I am proud of myself. I'm like,
hell
this
yeah.
is a score. This is a score. And so Chrissy comes in there and she's like, and she starts laughing, you know, and she's like, oh, that's good, man. I said, I told you, right? Work. This is awesome. So I wrap this thing up, take it to the party and whatever. And again, these are people that I don't see all the time because most of them, you know, I work like up in this part of the state and more people are downstate and whatever else. But anyway, so, you know, we have the party, I got this thing wrapped up, and I'm like laughing the whole time when I see somebody to go to pick it up, you know, until they open it, and I just scan in the room to see the looks on people's faces, because they're like, and you hear people going, is that a Richard Simmons chia pet?
And they're bewildered by it.
They're like, totally.
What? Is like somebody serious here?
Right. It was like somebody opened that suitcase in Pulp Fiction and they're looking at it and they're like, it's beautiful. And so, and then of course, some of the eyes turn on me and it's like,
right. Well, because they know now.
They know. The people
they're like,
know.
who got this? And just
the
head snap over to it. And man, I can't control it at that point, you know, I'm just laughing. And it was pretty damn funny. And even when I was laughing, like some of the people, you know, like the bosses, the big bosses and stuff, they were like, holy shit, man, that's pretty funny. Like, I can't believe you found Richard Simmons chia pet. Because not only is it just the hair, like he's got the fro, but it has chest hair on the chia pet. So I mean, it is like,
now whoever won it should grow it and wrap that up next year, and just keep it going.
Right. And then it comes back, and then, you know, and so like I said, I'm already on the hunt for something else, because it's like, man, I really turned it up. I mean, there was a lot of great gifts, don't get me wrong, but mine was definitely like the oddball one that people were like, holy shit, I never would have expected.
Well, now you drew the line in the sand, bro.
Right.
You can't. Yeah. Right. Like, I mean, you hit that pedal to the metal, so now you can't back down.
I'm gonna have to start looking now for next year already, and I might have to just, if I find the right thing, just put it.
Hey, Chris, we got to take our vacation to Michigan. What are you going to Michigan for? I gotta pick up an Elvis chia pet. It's okay. It's just on the way.
I have to pick up a Dukes of Hazzard board game that's never been opened, and it's in Kalamazoo. So we're gonna go stay overnight so I can pick this up. But speaking of kings, you know, as you referenced, this was another entertaining thing related to Facebook Marketplace that happened to me today. So we're getting rid of, changing around some furniture, right? So I've got a headboard, a queen headboard, and a base, the base for a bed that I'm selling. I'm like, I'll just put this on Marketplace. Maybe somebody needs it for like a kid's room or a college kid or something like that, you know? So somebody comes to pick it up today, right? And Chrissy's here working, and I go outside because the lady's like, oh, you think, she's a nice lady. She's like, do you think you could help me put it in the back of my van for me? I'm like, of course. So I go outside, and this lady, I'm out there literally, okay, like 5 minutes. And in the matter of 5 minutes, this lady tells me that her kid has autism. She's telling me about what school he goes to and the services that he's getting. Thank God they could get this bed because they needed a bed at the house for her boyfriend's her boyfriend's uncle just died, and they were moving furniture around, and they needed some additional furniture. And then she's got all the other things moved around and the seats folded up in her van to go and pick up other stuff. That's like, I mean, this was 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And I know everything about this lady. And I come walking back inside, and Chrissy's looking at me, and I said, guess what I just found out about that lady? And I tell her this story, and she's like, oh my God, like, why do people tell you? Why do people tell you all of that stuff? I said, I don't know. I'm just a personal guy. It's the season, but, and she's like, literally, how did you manage to get that much information in 5 minutes of loading a used piece of furniture into somebody's van? But
Oh yeah,
it's presence. It's presence.
It's presence.
It is king-like. It literally is king-like.
I mean, but Debbie does the same thing. We're selling something on Facebook Marketplace, a stationary bike. Now it's not when I buy equipment, I don't chintz, right? So we sell this on Marketplace for I think it was like $400. Okay. It was a nice bike. Now my office back in Illinois was just out by near the front door. So I hear the doorbell ring. Debbie gets it, and I hear this guy telling Debbie about, it's like it's a 5-minute dissertation about his daughter who has spina bifida and she can't breathe, and this is the best thing for her. It's going to save her life. She's got and I'm working in QuickBooks, right? And I know what's coming. She's going to die if she didn't get this bike. She was going to pass out. She's got to do this, but she's got to wear oxygen. I'm listening to all this, and I hear everything, and as I'm working. I hear the guy leave, and Debbie comes in, and I'm like, "Hey, how much did you get?" She goes, yeah, I wrote it off. So you wrote it off? I'm like, you just gave this guy $1,000 bike because he's probably going to go sell it for $600 now.
Chris is actually firing his gun from his office to scare the guy away so that Debbie can make the sale.
I want a medical record.
Scott, it sounds like Scott got the wrong wife. This is his Priscilla. If he's the king of the, Priscilla's his wife. You know what I mean? It's just they could get things like you got guys probably in the CIA that couldn't get that kind of information out of anybody.
No way.
Like waterboarding them, couldn't get that info out.
Remember,
and you'd be there. Like I would help him sometimes. Like we drove out into the country one time to pick up a washer and dryer. One time he's like, "Is that a truck?" He's like, "You want to come out with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And I get out there, and we're driving, and I was like, wow, man, we're really out here, man. And then he gets the dude and he's talking to the guy, and they're talking about all sorts of shit. I'm like, can we just go? Like, what's up? I'm just gonna go sit in the car. And he talked to this guy for like 45 minutes, and this guy spilled all the beans. Like, if you want to go in and get my guns out of my gun case, here's the gun code. Here's the code for it. I'm like, how do you draw this out of people?
Remember on the street, we'd be all done with the case, and we'd be thinking, okay, we're done. And all of a sudden, this guy looks at Scott. And it took me about 8 years to realize that once he looks at Scott, we're going to solve another crime some way, somehow. Right. He looks at Scott and he goes, yeah, I mean, I could tell you about, who stole the statue from the settlement in 1971. Like, what?
And I've also
got a domestic. Somebody's locked up, and they're telling him where Hoffa's buried.
And I've also got a waterbed for sale. So we take somebody to jail, and I scored a sweet ass waterbed that's only got one patch in it.
And it comes with the earful of those pills you had to put in there, so the water would get rancid.
Yeah, Jedi mind tricks on people. He had a guy scratching off popcorn ceilings for him in his rental apartment. How do you do that?
He's got a credit card. All right, you get a month. You get 20% off your rent if you get all that popcorn off.
Yeah, right. Like Elvis was no king of rock and roll, but Scott here is obviously.
Well, Scott, you're the king of confessions. That's all I got to say. Right, you're the king of confession and the king of useless information that people want to tell you.
Unneeded useless information.
Anyway,
it's a gift.
It's a gift. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this ridiculous show today. It was actually pretty funny. But please, wherever you get your podcast, leave a rating, review, download, subscribe, tell your friends, because we really try and make this a better place and make it funnier. And but we do bring the truth, and we're trying to fill the gap between civilians and the police. And please tell your friends, have them download, subscribe, leave a rating, review. If you want to listen to old episodes, go to 3copstalk.com. You could also leave an email there if you have a suggestion for the show, a guest, want to be a guest, any questions or concerns, or you can email us direct at 3copstalk@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much and have a blessed day.